Okay, let's start the practical class. We already complete the number 1 and number 2 from the lab manual. Overview of IP address and design Ethernet cables, cross straight rollover cables, and demonstration of splicing of fiber cables and different types of connectors. Okay, and today we are going to we are trying to complete the 2, 3, 4 or from the lab practical. 3 is the demonstration to connection to computer without connecting device, only cable, and demonstration to connect to computers with connecting device. There are 2 types of this, and number 5 is the demonstrate to establish client server connections with using Windows Server. So now we cannot have a real contact class that Windows Server we cannot do this, but client server these things we try to do it in using this Cisco Packet Tracer. Let's open the Cisco Packet Tracer here, and let me insert the host computer and another host computer and connector here. Here we have a different types of connectors, crossover cables, straight to cables, and serial communications are there. How to connect these two host computer? We can connect by using the cables, but we don't know say suppose I don't know the cable type and all. Here we have automatically choose the cables, and also here we can do it this straight to cables also we can choose from here, but if we don't know then we can use this automatically. Let me do it first here. Straight through cable, Ethernet to Ethernet physical connection. Let me turn on my camera and I'll show you the cable. Most of the people might know this one. Okay, this is the cable, Ethernet cable. This is the patch cord. Okay, this is the patch cord, and here we have a RJ45. Okay, this is the RJ45, and inside this we have 8 pairs of cable, 8 pairs of cables. So we have to join this UDP cable using this RJ45. For joining this cable, we need to have this RJ45, and last class I already explained this one. This is the crimping tools. Okay, for joining this one we have to insert this RJ45 here inside the nodes, and we can crimp the cable and RJ45. Okay, this is the tools, and this is the RJ45 for connecting. Okay, how to join those cable? We can join to the system using this port. Okay, RJ45 port, or the NIC, network interface card port. Let me explain this thing. Here I'm joining using the state 2 cable. State 2 means straight line, straight cable, end to end straight cable. There is no cross. Okay, cross I already explained. The transmitting lines joins to the receiving. Okay, the transmitting cable join to the receiver of the other side, and the transmitting cable of the destinations joined to the sender of the receivers. Okay, it's cross. This is called the crossover cable. Let's see here in the in this Cisco packet tracer. I'm joining using this straight 2 cable right now, and assigning the IP for this 10.0.0.1, and this computer 10.0.0.2. Okay, that IP number of this computer is 10.0.0.2, 10.0.0.1. Yeah, these are the address of these two computer, 10.0.0.1 and 10.0.0.2. Let me try to send the packet from 10.0.0.1 using this command. Ping is the command for sending the packet. Okay, packet 10.0.0.2. We are going to send a packet from this computer to this computer, and let me enter here. Here there is no reply. Request timeout. During the timeout period, there is no reply from this 10.0.0.2. There's no reply from the receiver. So the receive and the packet send is 4, receive is 0, destinations receive is 0, and the loss percentage is 100% loss. Then it cannot goes to this way. Nowadays, our computers no need to have this crossover cable. We can simply join using this straight 2 cable, but all computer and other communicating device need to have this crossover cable for the communicating. Let me change the cable right now. Delete this cable, and this is a crossover cable. Join this and join this. Crossover cable indicate this line, dotted line. Okay, dotted line. And from here, let me try to ping it the same IP address, then I'll get the reply. So using this cross cable, then it cross the cable from the transmitter, then it goes to the receiving side, and from the transmitting side, then it connect to the receiving side. So it cross the TX and the RX. So this is the example of this demonstration to connect to computer without connecting device, only by using cable, and demonstrations to connect to computer by using the connecting device. How to connect using the connecting device? I already explained in the last class. Also using switch also we can do it. And let me put one host computer here and one switch here in between, and one more host computer here, and let me connect by using this auto cable. Let me try to use this automatically choose, click here, and it's use this straight through cable. Okay, no crossed. Same. Okay, it's use this crossover straight through cables to communicate. Okay, straight through cables, and FA means fast Ethernet. Zero fast Ethernet 0 is the interface port of these two computers, and this fast Ethernet 0/1 mean port number 1, fast Ethernet 0, Ethernet port 0, and sorry, device 0, and port number 2. Port number 1 and port number 2 is initialized for communicating this. Okay, and how to communicate this one? We need to have the IP address. Say suppose this is the 10.10.10.0.1. Let me give this one 10.10.0.2. I'll give it this limit only, but the actual IP address I have to give in the desktop IP address 10.10.0.1. Click inside, and the subnet marks automatically added. Click here and desktop 10.10.0.2, and close it. Let me ping from here. ping 10.10.0.2. I got the reply from this 10.10.2. Let me ping it back to this 10.10.2. Ping 10.10.1. From 2 I have to ping 1. Okay, oh, sorry, 0.1. I'll go to reply. So communications working properly. And how to check using this PD window? I have to click to this simulation window and click this and click this button. Okay, click this button and click here and click to this. Then we have to click play from this window, play. Then we'll get this information. Okay, it send out the ICMP packet, Internet Control Message Protocol. Then it's replied back. Packet travel to this. Then here we'll get the successful. Then here we'll get the successful in this PDU. Okay. Instead of this real-time mode, in this real-time mode also we can do it this.
PDU ka voi kat sim tu sa ko. Masa zoka.
PDU mo.
Oh, simulation ang tangay ti dan tak ka am mail level data under live.
Click here in the simulation and click this PDU. Click here and click here. Okay, and click play. Then it will send this Ethernet frame across the network. Then here it's progress. Okay, it's in a progress mode. Then at last you will get the success if it is correctly. Okay, here is success. Okay, but if you cannot reach the packet, or if it cannot go through this network by the Ethernet frame, then you cannot get the informations. Okay, you cannot get the informations. Is it clear right now?
Sir, can you repeat the process once again?
Okay, I'll do it from the beginning. So for removing this one, click delete. It remove all this PDU that from the beginning. Let me remove this one. Okay, this is the original interface of this Cisco Packet Tracer. And let me insert one to host computer and cables. Click here. If you connect it to this state without physical connections, without connecting device, let me give the IP address of this first computer, 10.0.0.1, subnet box. This computer, desktop, click on desktop. IP I have to give 10.0.0.2, subnet marks here, close and close. Okay, I'll click this computer. Click this computer. Here, command prompt. Okay, command prompt. This one, command prompt. Click inside the command prompt and ping it. Ping 10.0.0.2. Then you will not get the reply. Why? Because we are using state 2 cable. State 2 cable is not possible to communicate the two computers using this without using the Ethernet switches. Okay, but today's in our real physical computers, our computers no need to connect using the crossover cable. We can connect using the straight to cable also. It's compatible right now. But in the simulator here also, in a simulator and old computer, okay, old computer need to have a crossover cable. Now this latest motherboard and all is already compatible with this straight to cable. Let me explain using the PDU also. I'll click this, send, and send from here. Then here it's fail. Okay, fail means cannot go through this one. Means transmitting connected to this transmitting, receiving connected to this receiving. So there is no chance of receiving the data If receive, connect to receive. If transmitting, receive to transmitting, then there is no chance of receiving. So for receiving the Ethernet frame, transmitting needed to received, and another end computer needed to connect this receiving to the transmitting. So we need to cross it. For this, we have to use what? Crossover cable. Crossover cable here, and for this, if we connect, then it will come this successful here. Okay, successful communication done. This is the first practical. Second one is the using connecting device. Okay, using this, I can use this, using the switch, we can use this straight through cable. Okay, using this straight through cable, we can communicate the two computers, more than two. So I have to give the IP address. Without IP address, you cannot communicate first. Let me give this 10.0.0.1, same IP. No, that one, let me use. And here 10.0.0.1, 10.0.0.2. Okay, IP already used in a network, so it's conflict. This one I already assigned one here, then here it shows that IP is already used in this network. Okay, I'll click inside the subnet mask. This 10.0.0.2 subnet mask automatically added. If this 10, then this is which class in the IPv4? Can you answer me? What is the class of this IP in IP version 4? Any answer? What is the name of this IP class? C. Class A or B or C? Answer
Class
me.
A.
Okay, class A network means the first octet having 255. Okay, the first octet only having 255. That's why this is class A, and other we can use for the host address. Okay, only the first is the network address. Okay, and other is the computer address. Okay, now we completed the configuration, cable configurations, and let me delete the existing PDU. Let me use a new PDU here. Good, it's connected. ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol, travels through this, and it can communicate the system. So this is the second point. First point is without connecting device, first one, and second one is the without networking device. And the third one is how to connect using the client server architecture in Windows Server. But right now we did not have the real Windows Server here. We try to do this client server architecture using this Cisco Packet Tracer. For this, we need a, let me give example, two computer here, and switch same configuration, and server here. Okay, And let me connect this using this straight through cable. Cable are connected, okay, with the server. And here, okay, and one more server. Let me add. Okay, let me add this one. Anyone knows what is client server architecture? Can you tell me what is client server? Tell me what is client server. Answer me.
server to
Client
request
server
ทนนะคะ
architecture.
นี่ client ตัดจังอะ request กันทน
Client tengah request. Ini ya, client server architecture. Tidak tak client server architecture kan ti ini om je. What is the meaning of client server architecture?
If there's two eyes, then it needs a S. If there's only one eye, then that means it's I.
a host server that apply so ka maintain the ano yan
Client. Diktaw to. What is client server architecture? Client server architecture means client is used for requesting data to the server. Okay, it requests data to the server, and server reply the request. Okay, server reply the request from the client, and it process in the server and reply it back the data to the client. These are the client server architectures. In client server, we can have a single server and multiple client. Multiple client request to the server, and server process the request and send it back to the client. Internet is the website, web page is the client server architecture. You can browse Facebook, you can use IG, you can use Gmail, you can use WhatsApp. This is the client server architecture. This means that we have a Facebook server, we have a Google server, we have a YouTube server, we have a WhatsApp server. Then you can post any data, video, or still picture. You can post to the server. Then server reply it back to the connecting device. And also you can update your status. All these things are the client server architecture. Your client, you are the client, you are not the server, you are the client, you are the user, end user using a device, maybe a mobile phone, or maybe a computer, or maybe a laptop. Then you can use the services of the internet. So inside that internet, there are different type of billions of millions of servers are there. So this server process the request of the client, then you reply it back. If you type google.com in your browser, then your computer send a request to the Google server, then it's replied back the Google home page. And if you type in the search engine, then it send it back to the Google server and it process it, then it will get it back the source result. Okay, these are the client server architecture. So let's see here, we have two computers and switches here, switch are connected to the two computers, and here we have a two server. One is the, let me say this web server, and another is the DHCP server. Okay, what this DHCP means? DHCP means dynamic hosting configuration protocol. Okay. This is the full form of the DHCP, dynamic hosting configuration protocol. Okay, DHCP. Let's see one more example. Do you know hotspot?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, most of the gamer and all, you know the hotspot. You can share your connection to your WLAN. Then they can connect it to your hotspot device. So no need to know when you connect it to the hotspot host, then is it needed to configure the IP address by the client? Did you configure IP address?
No, sir.
No need to configure. Okay, this is done by the DHCP. Okay, this is done by the DHCP by the hotspot host. Okay, hotspot host. So no need to configure the IP address and all. Hotspot host assign the IP address to the client. The same thing happened here. We are trying to configure it, this one. First, let's assign this DHCP. I'm opening this DHCP server here. And in the service, I'll click in the service DHCP here. Under this services, we have HTTP, DHCP version 6, and the first DHCP is version 4, IP version 4, and then this is DHCP version 6 for the IP version 6, and TFTP, this is for the file transfer protocol, and here DNS server and syslog AAA registry, NTP network translate protocol, and email. And also here we have FTP server. Okay, and here we can have the IoT also, and we can have this VM management, radio CFP. All these are there. First, we have to use this DHCP services first, and okay, before going to this DHCP configurations, let me type the network domain. Okay, 192.168.0.0 is our network domain of this LAN. Okay, this is our local area network. Okay, this is the area of our local area network. Inside this, I'm going to use this network configurations. Okay, this is LAN. Internally, I'm going to use this IP configurations. 1, 2, 3, up to this 3 is used for the network identification. My network identification is 192.168.0, and the last IP we have to use for this assigning the host computers. Okay, different types of host, maybe a PC or maybe the server. Okay, and I'm click this DHCP. Okay, DHCP, and under this physical, let me go first to the physical. Here we can add different types of card and all in this server. Okay, in this server, this is the virtual images of the server. Backside we have this Ethernet port and all. Okay, and this is the configuration. Okay, config file. In this config file, let's see here, fast Ethernet port. Okay, in this fast Ethernet port, we can give the IP address here. Okay, and the subnet mask. Okay, IP address and the subnet mask. But IP in the instead of giving the IP and the subnet mask, I have to go to the desktop, IP configuration, and I'll give the IP address of this DHCP server statically. Okay, static. 192.168.0 is my network address. .1 is the address of this computer. 1 is the address of this computer, and the network address is 192.168.0. And I'll click inside here, subnet mask, close, and okay, no need to close here. I'll close this one, and I'm going back to the services, DHCP, and turn on services. Okay, I am going to turn on the service of this DHCP first, and here server pool is the DHCP pool name, and default gateway, if there is some default gateway, then I have to give, we'll learn it later in the router default gateway. Right now no need to give. DNS also, we'll learn it later, no need to give here. And here, starting IP, DHCP will assign the IP address from the request sent by the client. Okay, so from where is going to start the IP address? 192.168.0, starting from 10. Okay, and the first 9 address is the reserved. Okay, reserved. We have to reserve some IP address. Okay, and the subnet mask is this one. Okay, and the maximum number of users to be connected to the DHCP client is 255. Instead of 255, let me reduce to 20. 20 PC can connect it to the DHCP server, and we can save it. After saving this one here, it's changed all the information. Save, it's changed all the information. You need it, let me repeat it. You need to turn on the service. No need to change right now this default gateway and DNS services, but here you have to change it, the starting address, and already give the subnet mask and maximum number. You have to reduce it and save it. That's all. Okay, that's all for the DHCP server. I'll close it, this one. Let me go to the computer, desktop, IP, DHCP. It sent the request and successfully added by the DHCP server. Okay, this computer sent the request to the DHCP server, and DHCP server assigned the IP address to this computer, and the IP address is the 192.168 dot starting from 10. Okay, this is assigned from the DHCP server. DHCP request successful. Let me close this one. Let me close this. Click here. Same thing. Desktop. This one, DHCP. And this will assign, then this is 11. So for this, the advantage of this DHCP server, there is no confliction in the IP address. We cannot give the same IP address here. It will conflict with each other. For managing the IP address is very, very helpful to have the DHCP server in the area, in the local area network. Otherwise, if I'm having the 100 numbers of computer, then others change the computer's address, and others change the computer address using this static IP address, then it's create a problems. It will conflict, then it will degrade the network performance. So here we are using this DHCP server, then it will resolve the IP confliction. Okay, now it's clear, this one. This is the configuration of the DHCP server. It's already assigned. It's already assigned the IP address dynamically. Then it send the request to the DHCP server. Then DHCP server assigned from the pool. Okay, from the pool. Then there is no chance of confliction, IP confliction. And let me ping from this PC to the DHCP client whether is it reply or not, or we can do it using the PDU. Using the PDU, click here and click here. It success, this one, and from here to this here also process success. Okay, it's communicate properly, and these two PCs communicate or not. Okay, success. Okay, all these are working properly. So this is one example of client server. This is the DHCP server. This client requests the DHCP. Okay, then this server reply the request. Okay, this is client server architecture. And one more example is the web. Let me configure this one. I'll open this web server, and from this desktop, IP address from the pool, from this one pool, we reserve IP address from 1 to 9. Okay, 192.168. All the server I have to give the static IP address 192.168.0.2. I'll give this one and click this, and I'll give this two. One is the DHCP server, and subnet mask is the 255.255.255.0. Okay, then it finished the IP configuration in the web server. Let's go to the services, and on the top of this, below the services, we have HTTP services. Okay, HTTP services, we have two HTTPS services and this one. Okay, under this HTTP services here, there are different types of pages are there, web page, HTML file. Okay, let me click on this index.html. Okay, then we can do it the edit, or we can create a new file also. Let me click edit here. Here, HTML text are there, HTML code. Do you know HTML? HTML in fact in TM, HTML in TM, hypertext markup language.
TMS sir.
In TM pro, and here in TM that we pro. Okay, let me add here. MCA Lab class for Cisco Packet Tracer, and let's save it this one, and it's saved it this. Okay, how to browse this HTML from the client? I'll close it this one, and I'll open this computer. Here we have a web browser. Okay, click here, web browser, and the IP address of the web server is 192.168.0.2. Enter here, then you will get the web page of this. Okay, so this is the example of client server architecture from your lab. Now we finish this one. Can you do it? Any question? No question. Okay, if there is no question, you have to do it. And instead of screenshot, capture, use screen recorder. Okay, while you're doing, use screen recorder and send me your screen record in MCA fifth sem group. Do it this practical. Okay, and do it this practical and send your screen video record in the MCA WhatsApp group.